Hi everybody, it's Clarice and it's time for another Red Chair Talk. So with the month of February, there's been a significant day in February on the 14th, and that's Valentine's Day. And for some reason this year, I've noticed quite a lot of cynicism and these anti-Valentine's Day social media posts and people saying things in social media groups about being anti-Valentine's Day. And to me, that's a little bit of a shame because Valentine's Day is an opportunity to reaffirm love. So the topic today is, why be down on love when you can simply change your perspective? Now, this is something that for some people it's not so easy to do. There's so much over romanticized films and books and idealistic attitudes towards love, so that we have this very unrealistic idea of what love should be like. We don't quite get the idea that it can be quite ordinary at times, it can be quite boring. So when things happen that let us down, we don't have experience of how to change it and make it any different, or to make it better, or to put it back on keel again from this idealistic and unrealistic expectations that love is, that a person in our life, a man or a woman in our life, is going to somehow heal us and make us a better person and raise us up from what we currently are. And so when we have these very, very bad experiences of relationships, it changes our heart. And the heart is a very fragile thing. We don't want it damaged, and we don't want to become bitter. We don't want our experiences to make us bitter. So to change our perspective from this very, very negative, cynical way of looking at love and relationships and going, do you know what? I'm through with it. I'm over it. I'm not going to have another relationship again. Or to keep just chasing love, chasing people that aren't really interested in us, that don't value us as a human being, who don't want to supply and support our wants and needs. It's not a reciprocal relationship. So we have to remember, so that we don't keep repeating these negative affirmation and ongoing cycles of bad behavior and damaging our heart and our spirit. We have to remember that our heart is a vessel, and it is necessary to fill it with love, care and kindness. And the way we do that is to employ our head. So this is how we change our perspective from being down on love because we've had all these negative experiences. Do not let the heart take precedent over your head. Let your head be the gatekeeper. So if the heart is a vessel that needs to be filled with love, care and kindness, that means we used to have to think of our head as being a vessel as well. And we use it to process experiences, learn from them, and develop wisdom. So there's no separation as such. It's actually connected. But our head has to be involved before we allow the heart to want what it wants. Because unfortunately, the heart can lead us making down bad paths and making the wrong choices. And then it's just an ever perpetuating cycle of bad experiences till we become cynical and we develop bitterness growing in our heart, growing inside us. Bitterness and cynicism is not good. It eats the heart and it stops us from having more love. Yeah, it stops us from finding genuine love in all our relationships, whether it's romantic, whether it's family, whether it's work. Everything is a relationship, really, when we come into contact with other people outside of ourselves. So it's so important to have this head and heart connection. But use your head first. Use your brain. Because that is our gatekeeper. That is our processor. And that is where, with wisdom, we can say, do you know what? This person isn't worthy of my heart. This person isn't worthy of me giving my heart to them because of whatever reasons. Heart doesn't reason, it just feels. And that's a beautiful thing, and it's important to feel. And we never want it to be broken up and fractured by bitterness and cynicism. And cynicism is the worst case scenario from skepticism. Skepticism was where our mind will ask questions and it will process information. We're using that so that we can protect our heart. So you have to change your perspective. Never, never be cynical about love. Employ your brain, your eyes and your ears. Use it as a gateway to protect your heart. So if that's the case, how do we do it? I'm going to use what is currently a very overused phrase, but it's the most simple, and it is love yourself. Now, I'm not talking about the self-aggrandized, narcissistic love, like I'm great, I'm special, no one's better than me. You know, it's not an equal playing field, right? There's always going to be someone better than me. There's going to be someone better than you. Let's be realistic. But we can do self-love by some very, very simple actions. It doesn't have to cost us a lot of money either. It could be something quite simple. It could be something like going for a walk in the park, feeding the birds, feeding the ducks, watching children play, hanging out with a really good mate, not a mate that uses you, not a mate that gets off on putting you down. They're not your mates. Yeah? They're not your mates. Your mate is someone that will be honest with you, that will pull you up if you say something but that they think is pulling you in the wrong direction. They've got your best interests at heart, but you can also do that to them. And we need people like this in our lives, and we need to do things that reaffirm love for ourselves. Yeah? Because love for ourselves is the most important love we're ever going to have. The me, myself, and I. Again, I'm not talking about narcissistic, self-aggrandizement, me, myself, and I. I'm talking about self-esteem. Self-esteem, self-love, building a full heart that loves me and I love it. I care for it. I take care of my heart. I protect my heart. I employ my brain. Believe my eyes, believe my ears, process in my brain if this person that I'm going to have in my life, whether it's a friend, a colleague at work, a lover, a husband, or whatever, or a wife. I'm talking to men and women out there, all genders, all sexes. As long as I've got quality of love around me, and I can feel what love is, because the heart, love is feelings. The head processes thoughts and emotions, okay? And they filter in. Do not disconnect the head from your heart. Let the heart be the gatekeeper. Do activities that promote self-love. Not talking about drink, not talking about drugs, not talking about my thing, I'll own it. I love chocolate. I'm talking about things that make you feel good and fills your heart with quality. And once you have enough love in your heart, once you've filled it up with love and self-love and self-care, then you've got some to spare for others. So that's some to spare for your lover, that's some to spare for your work colleagues, that's some to spare in your community, people that you can help in your community. In fact, that's another way to promote self-love and fill your heart with love, positive love. Join a club or join a society or a foundation where you could be helping people within your community, helping children, helping elderly people. You could be donating in some worthy charity. These things create self-love, and these things fill the heart. And while this is going on, let your head process. Let your head process what self-love feels like, so that when you get into a relationship, and as I said before, relationships to me are universal. I'm not just talking about romantic. I'm talking about work. I'm talking about family. I'm talking about your church. I'm talking about your social club, wherever you go. You will know the difference. You will have a discernment between what is false love, redundant love, and what is a true love. And your heart will be protected. Because love is the most beautiful thing in the world. When you have more love in your heart, you can give more love. And that's what life is all about. It's about love and happiness. But do not allow your heart to be infiltrated with bitterness and your head with cynicism, because your head will not be able to process what is good for your heart. So that was my message today. Why be down on love when you can simply change your perspective? I hope this resonates with you on some level. I'd certainly like to hear your comments. If you have any comments, please leave them. Positive would be great, but negative is okay too. If you disagree, I'm more than happy to have a discussion with you. But what I will ask is, within my community and on my playlist, Red Chair Talks, that you disagree with consideration and respect, and I will answer you back in kind. So that's my talk for today. I've tried to keep it brief, but I always seem to go over 10 minutes. I do get a bit carried away with these things because, as I said in the first Red Chair Talk I did back in January, I talk about subjects that interest me. And I will be diversifying from philosophical topics. I will go on to other topics as well that are quite interesting. And I hope that you will stick around and join in the conversation. So have a happy week. Have a happy month. Don't be down on love. Change your perspective. Lots of love. Bye. Bye.